So after a long and tumultuous saga, Paramount completed its merger with Skydance Media earlier this year. Now that the dust has settled on this deal, what is going on with Paramount Plus, and what does it mean for the future of their namesake streaming service? In this video, I will cover everything that has transpired since that merger, and what we can expect for the future of Paramount Plus. Now, for the uninitiated, Paramount merged with Skydance Media, a company that was headed by David Ellison, who now has the keys to the kingdom at Paramount. David is the son of Larry Ellison, who is the second wealthiest person in the world, Larry getting his wealth primarily from Oracle, which is a data and software company that has contracts with various different governments, including the US government, and it's also a company that is investing heavily in AI. Now, when Paramount was up on the auction block and there were different companies like Sony that were potentially going to acquire or merge with Paramount, there were some questions over whether said new owners would keep Paramount Plus as a streaming service or decide to disband it altogether and just license their content to some of the other streaming services like Netflix or Prime Video. And it should be said that while Paramount does have a lot of subscribers, they haven't been able to compete with the giants like Netflix and Prime Video quite in the way that I think anyone was hoping. But now that David Ellison has the keys to Paramount, he has indicated that yes, Paramount Plus is here to stay. And while they're going to keep Paramount Plus, there is a possibility that they will be getting rid of their other streaming service, Pluto TV. David Ellison indicated that they may potentially merge Paramount Plus and Pluto together into a consolidated streaming service. This is kind of similar to what Amazon did with Freevee. They got rid of the Freevee brand. They incorporated it all just into the Prime Video app. There's still some free content you can watch on Prime Video. It's just not called Freevee. I think essentially that sounds like what they're going to do with Pluto TV. Pluto, there's still going to be some free shows you can watch on Paramount Plus. It's just not called Pluto TV, and it doesn't have a separate app. And we don't know the date that is going to happen just yet. Now, it's only been a few months since this merger happened. Whatever David Ellison is cooking up hasn't come into fruition just yet, but we do have an idea of some of the groundwork that he's laying for Paramount Plus over the next 2 years. Now, one of the biggest deals actually happened before the merger, so David Ellison wasn't necessarily involved, and that is that South Park creators reached a $1.5 billion deal that spans over 5 years to bring South Park to Paramount Plus. Now, if you are a South Park fan, you might be familiar. For several years, they had a contract with HBO Max. Even though the show is produced by Paramount, it was licensed out to HBO Max. Paramount got around that a little bit by making television specials and movies that were really just extended episodes of South Park. I believe there was a lawsuit over that, but anyway, kind of a whole tangent there. Now, their back catalog of shows from South Park is all on Paramount Plus, and the new episodes of South Park are also on Paramount Plus. They've really been ruffling a lot of feathers with their new season, but I won't get into that one. But with South Park, it has shot up to become the #1 show on Paramount Plus. So perhaps they're at least getting a little bit of their money's worth of that $1.5 billion from that deal. The next major thing, this actually happened after the merger, and that is that Paramount signed a deal with UFC to bring UFC to Paramount Plus. This will begin in 2026, and it will bring all numbered UFC events and all UFC fight nights exclusively to Paramount Plus. There will also be some UFC events that will air on CBS as well. I think this is a really significant part of laying the groundwork for the future of Paramount Plus, is a focus on sports. Paramount Plus has the NFL games from CBS, and there is a question over whether or not they will retain those games, because by the end of the decade, the NFL rights will be up for negotiation once again. There's going to be other companies like Netflix and Comcast that try to compete for that deal. But the Ellison family, I mean, Daddy is rich in the Ellison family. David Ellison's father, Larry Ellison, is the second wealthiest man in the world. He actually owns, I believe, 90% of one of the islands of Hawaii, which is a pretty crazy fact there. They got some money to put down for a deal with the NFL if they were going to do that. Another thing that they did was they acquired the outlet, The Free Press. This is founded and owned by she was a columnist for the New York Times and started this outlet. Her name is Barry Weiss. She has, her company is now incorporated into Paramount, and she is the head and editor-in-chief at CBS News. She has also been causing some, ruffling some feathers for other reasons than South Park. I will say that this is largely interpreted as a rightward ideological shift for CBS News. So whether you think that is good or that is bad, I will leave that for you to decide. Now on to entertainment. They have struck a major deal with the Duffer Brothers. These were the brothers that created Stranger Things for Netflix. This is kind of seen as a big coup because Stranger Things was obviously a huge hit for Netflix. And the reason why they have left Netflix and have gone over to Paramount is because Paramount could offer them a deal where for movies that they either wanted to direct or produce, they would actually have theatrical distribution in addition to streaming that they wouldn't have with Netflix. Now, on the flip side, here's a deal that I think a lot of people are scratching their heads at and surprised, to see this happen. And that is that Taylor Sheridan, the creator of Yellowstone, the creator of a huge number of shows for CBS and Paramount Network and Paramount Plus, is going to be leaving the Paramount Mountain and trotting his way over on horseback to NBC Universal. Now, this does not impact the shows that he has already produced or are already in production or are getting ready to be released over the next couple of years. So he has shows that he's created in the Yellowstone universe that are still going to be released on Paramount Plus. This doesn't change that. This doesn't change previous seasons. It's just going forward, any new shows that he would be producing would be distributed through NBC Universal, so possibly on NBC or even Peacock. Now, I think a lot of people saw when the deal with the Duffer Brothers was struck, like, okay, David Ellison, he's really playing hardball. But when they saw this deal, they kind of questioned his judgment because Taylor Sheridan has been such a massive part of really what I associate as the core brand of Paramount, whether Paramount Network or CBS. It's the outlet for the dad shows, as, we call them. Shows like Yellowstone or Tulsa King or these various different shows that he's created. Even though I should add, Yellowstone is not actually on Paramount Plus. It is on Peacock, which is NBC Universal. So I guess, maybe that kind of makes sense in a way that he's going over there. But, that just seems like a pretty significant oversight and loss for Paramount. And amidst all of this, amidst deals that they're making, deals that they're losing, Paramount Plus is going to be getting a price hike in January, raising both of their plans by $1 per month and also getting rid of their free trials. So with all of that out of the way, what can we expect for the future of Paramount Plus? Now, as somebody who has followed Paramount Plus since day one of them rebranding from CBS All Access, I've been able to see the different twists and turns along their journey. And I'll say one of the most significant downsides that I hear on this YouTube channel from people's comments and from talking to different people that have signed up for Paramount Plus is a frustration with the app itself. Now, I'll say I haven't had the same issues that I think some other people have had. I think it depends on your device that you're using and possibly the speed of your internet connection, different things like that. But it does seem like their interface struggles a little bit where Netflix and Prime Video and some of the other streaming services do not. So one of the biggest changes that I do think that we're going to see, especially with the Ellison family coming from the world of tech, is an overhaul to the Paramount Plus app. And this is something they've given signs of, in interviews and things like that. David Ellison has. So I think we're going to see a new version of the Paramount Plus app within the next 6 months to a year. There's going to be an emphasis on personalized recommendations, more like Netflix, and AI will factor somehow in this. How that manifests, I don't know. But, Dad's company, Larry Ellison, very much involved with the world of AI. AI is going to factor into Paramount Plus, maybe interactive cartoons with SpongeBob or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. The second big thing I'm predicting is that Paramount will double down on sports. This is something that really is a sticking point for a lot of different television watchers. It's really kind of the last horizon with, the world of television. The last thread that cable is hanging on by, that thread is now snapping and it's going over to streaming. We saw them do the deal with UFC. I expect other deals with sports, and we'll see if that pays off in the long run with Paramount Plus. And now to the third prediction, and that is another big thing that is hanging over all of this, and that is the potential for other streaming services to absorb into Paramount Plus. Now, it's all but confirmed that it is most likely going to happen with Pluto TV. Okay, they're under the Paramount umbrella, but there has been another big development happening over the past several weeks and even months, and that is that Warner Brothers Discovery is now in the same position that Paramount was several months ago. They're putting themselves up on the auction block and saying, hey, somebody take me. And there are a few possible bidders for Warner Brothers Discovery at this point. Those include Paramount, Netflix, and Comcast. Other little wrinkle in this story, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, I'm not going to go into too much depth on it, but there's potentially financial backing from Saudi Arabia and some foreign governments in this deal if it goes through with Paramount, which is interesting. But Paramount has indicated that if they were the ones to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery, David Ellison has indicated that he would end HBO Max and absorb it into Paramount Plus. So whether or not this deal goes through with Warner Brothers Discovery, whether or not it's funded by the government of Saudi Arabia or whatever, I do think it's fair to expect that we're going to see other streaming services metastasize into Paramount Plus, along with an overall merging of these different companies in the media industry. So if you want to keep up to date with all things related to Paramount Plus as well as the other streaming services, make sure to hit that subscribe button and also follow Shall I Stream It on social media platforms, including Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.